So guys, welcome back. This is episode 9 with me, Owen, aka The Bear. I have Sean, aka The Handsome Stranger. And over in the corner, we have the face for radio, Aidan. And Andrew Coney of the Ace Group. You've came from Ardboe to one of the largest houses in North Carolina. And you've died twice in between. There's a lot of gaps to fill. Let's get started.
Welcome on to the Bear Podcast Show.
Glad to be here, fellas.
Pleasure to have you on.
Oh, glad to be here.
So, as we normally always jump in, who is Andrew? Where did you grow up, and where has your adventures taken you?
Well, I grew up in a place called Ardboe. Born and bred there. Not bothered there, was born and bred there. Got bothered in America. Moved to America when I was about 20 years old. Moved over there with a company called back then Power Screen. It's now Terex. Gave me an opportunity. Went over, made the most of it. Done okay for myself, I'd say. And now just want to tell my story to maybe help some people with that story.
So you worked with Power Screen here, the Power Screen, the Dungannon plant.
Correct.
A lot of people around here would know Power Screen, still called TRX Power Screen. There's a lot of big subdivisions now. I checked this out before we come out. 75% of the world's engineering equipment is made within 20 miles of Tyrone.
Not engineering equipment.
Or sorry.
Specific.
Yes. Screening.
Portable crushing and screening equipment in the world. 75-80% of it, yes, is made in basically Tyrone.
Obviously then you'd went to America. What age did you go to America?
I was just at turn 20. It was July of 1988.
And how did that come about?
I just had a drive. I was raised here. I went to Marfeld Convent and it was all right. And done my O-levels, started my A-levels and decided to want to do something else. I grew up in the fishing background in Ardboe, my brother and stuff, my dad. I just said that wasn't for me. Fuck this, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, shit and all that. Hell, I said I got something better and I can do better. And I wanted to get away, so I actually moved into a wee flat in Cull Island when I was 17, 18 years old. I mean, independent, left the house, and that's because I'd got a job in Power Screen making, I don't know, 60, 80 pound a week. I thought it was rich. Pack of cigarettes and a couple of pints, and that was it. And so then I always had this drive. I wanted to do something else. I mean, this wasn't for me. And this dream was America. You know, it used to be, now it's Australia, but this dream was America, and thing was always reaching out to me. I wanted to do this, you know, and I just...
How did the actual opportunity present itself? Did you just rock up one day and you're gone?
No, I just put myself in a place. I'll tell you what happened. I was working in a drawing office then, called 19 or close to 20, whatever it was, and doing drawing sketches and stuff with engineering drawings, because I was always good at that. And I remember this guy called Pat Dugan, who was the director at the time. He says to me, somebody says to me, that's the fella you need to talk to, but you could never get to this guy. The big, long trench coat on. He drove a Jaguar. He's from Draperstown, actually. He I think he's dead now, but he had left personally when they sold out to Terex, and then he started sparing metals, actually. But I always this thing, and I was always Ford Cub, so I just, one day at lunchtime, I knew where his office was, back in the corner, and he had a secretary there, and so I just decided that my lunch, 12 o'clock, 12:30, to march up the stairs and see this fella, just Ford as fuck, and walked in there, and he was going to lunch, secretary was there, and there was this big desk, big old chair, big coat behind it, and I thought he's right. I said, okay, I'll walk in, and it's like sat down in the chair, and I was like, I don't know if you can hear this, but this is what I came in, I went behind the chair, and I thought, shit, I said, fuck, this is cool, I want to do this one day. This would be cool to do this, you know. I come in, and I was sitting there right there, and the cunt walks in. Yeah, we should get to the cunt, what the fuck are you doing in my chair? I was like, sorry, get the fuck up, you're fucking fired. So get away. So I head back down to the drawing office. Shit, fucking tears. Oh, fuck, well, I blew that one. And so then they come back down there. The boss back then was a fella called Frank McMahon. I mean, this is old school. He says, what'd you do? I says, well, oh, shit, stupid cunt. He's fired you. He says, oh, shit, then get your stuff. So anyway, so I was getting stuff ready, and then a call 10, 15 minutes later come and says, send the wee cunt back up here. So I went up, shit myself because I thought I was going to be officially fired. He goes, what are you doing up here? I says, I want to go to America. And I was like, all right, can you be in a plane next week? And I went, all right, fuck. And that was like first week in July, and I flew on the 12th of July. He had me flight next week, panic a passport and all that shit. And next thing I know, I'm landed in Louisville, Kentucky, which was a base over there. And then, I don't know what the fuck I was doing in land America. It was 96 degrees. Some fella picked me up, and I was going like, holy fucking sauna. I mean, it was just patty up. But I put myself in the right place at the right time. I guess he respected my forwardness, and I just grew it from there, you know. I always remember landed in Louisville Airport, decent sized airport. A fella called Jerry Kelly picked me up, who is from Stewartstown actually. Picked me up, and he was, okay, I know your family and stuff. He says, I was leaving the airport. In America, they have, I'd say the airports, they have these fenced areas, they call them park and rides, right? I'm saying, fuck, this is a deadly country. We used to sneak over the airdrome. So, you know, it was other park and ride, you know, it's like they have fenced in areas. In America, you can go and park and ride. I mean, like, I couldn't believe this. This is great. I was thinking different at the time.
you had a different ride, that was
that was my first impression of
Welcome
America.
to Louisville.
I was like, holy shit, it's a great country, holy shit. But then I found out afterwards where you park your car whenever you go to work. You know what I mean?
How many times did you park there before we found out? So you arrived there, you're 20 years of age. It's a big country, especially for someone from a small fishing village. And yeah, well, you were rightly in because you were with Parscreen and you started there. Where did the journey go on in America?
I really didn't have a job. They put me in a parts position. I was always engineer, but they put me in a parts position. A couple of months in Louisville, I had their own job. People would call in looking spare parts for machines, and I'd take them and put the order in and go pick the shit and put it in a box and ship it out. And there's a fella showed up one day called Shane McKeown at the time, Donaldmore man, probably famous around here. He showed up and he says, he was in there meeting some of the American dealers at the time, just selling equipment and stuff and doing his thing. And he says, this American dealer from North Carolina, a guy called Bob Bass, was looking at a good serviceman, and I was called into the office and says, would you be willing to move to North Carolina and be his service guy? Small company doing $500,000, $1 million a year. And I says, fucking great, yeah. Where's North Carolina? I said, all right. So I moved to North Carolina. I was 20 still. Worked for him as a serviceman for a couple of years, and then I went in. He says this. He would never let me get into sales because he was very paranoid. Because Parscreen back then was a very kind of almost Irish mafia run thing. I mean, it's they looked after their own people, and so I started phoning around, and your man Jerry Kelly called him. I said, "Is there any jobs out there?" He said, "There's a fella up in Indiana called Gordon Anderson, who's from Cookstown. He was looking at a good salesman." He says, "Would you want to try that?" I said, "I showing up, interviewed, and we interviewed him and all. He'd be throwing crystal clock and shit and sitting there, and I was like, all right, now I work for you." So he gave me a job. So I moved to place called St. Louis because he had expanded his dealership from Indiana into Illinois and then part of Missouri. So I up there and I worked for him for 5 years selling machines, and he always called me. I was his Western expanse because he had expanded his business, but I was running my own business for him. I was selling the machines, meeting the customers. The machine broke down, some wee thing in an engine. I was the service tech. I would go fix it. I get the parts, and I was it running the business, doing $1 million worth of business every year, and I was fucking. It was great for him, no overhead, and I was this kid, and I learned a lot in those 5 years, almost how to run a business, you know. And then I says one day, "Fuck this! I want to do this myself." And I got whiffed that this guy in North Carolina, the dealer there that I first come with, that I first come with was on the way out, he had some discrepancies, and they said, it's a long technical story, but anyway, they said, "We want to hire you direct to go back to North Carolina if you want work for us direct, sell machines direct from Dungannon, but not as a dealer because there's laws over there, rights of being distributors, dealers. So I'll work for you. So for 12 months I worked for them direct and done very well selling. Myself was selling more equipment than that actual dealer was. So I was only 25, 26 at the time, and they come to me and says, would you like to take this territory, North Carolina, as a dealer? And that was my dream. I'm 20, going there in 25, 20 years, I fucking accomplished it. I hit the fucking jackpot, And so I took that on, started building the business, grew with that, kept going, $1 million a year, $2 million a year, 5 years into it, 5 million, fuck, great. What's my next goal? 10 million. And then I bought the state of South Carolina from the dealer then, which was Florida, bought it from them for some money, real hard cash, grew it, and then bought into the territory in Virginia and West Virginia, and then I grew it up and then grew it into this big dealership, and now it's a big company, It just a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, but that was started when I was 20, 25, 26 or something, and I just done well with it. A lot of drive. I wanted to, every time I reached a goal, I was like, what's the next goal? You want to do 5 million a couple of years. Yeah, what's the next 10 million? And it was 20 million, and it was 25 million. It's like, something, could I actually make 50? And then, a couple of years ago I did, and now the next goal is the obvious next one, is the big 100, and I'm getting there close now. And that's my story, how I got to where I am. There's a lot of other little things in between, but...
And we're going to delve right into some of them things in between. It was a very quick rise there, and I suppose our screen was expanding really fast back then, and they trusted the network they had, so there was lots of opportunity for guys that were in the know and had the drive.
They did that, and I knew some people back here like the Shane McKeown's, and another guy, I'll give credit to a guy called Barry Cosgrove, who's not there, he was CFO, that he took me under his wing, kind of coached me. He always wanted me to go back to college, and I said, no, I can make this my own. And he would always let me know certain things about what was going on. He says, yeah, you should make that move. Because he was in the corporate level, and he had sort of helped me along. It was just knowing the right people in the right place too that helped me along there as well. Put myself in the right place to do that.
So we're going to jump in here. 25.
Mm-hmm.
You've now secured a dealership. You're making 10 when you're selling. Salesmen make good money on their machines. They're big machines, like they're multi-million-pound deals, and you're getting your cut on your thing. What does that do to a 25-year-old that's come from a fishing village, that all of a sudden you turn? Did it send your head astray?
No, I always put the money back into the business. Started expanding my facilities, and then, that's just selling the stuff. Then there's the other side of it, like selling the spare parts, which is a great business. You're going to make a certain margin. These machines break down. You're a tractor man and stuff, and all this stuff. This shit breaks down.
Yeah.
These parts, and
especially they run them 24/7.
I know, yeah. These boys, buy these big machines, big quarries, really big companies, and they rely on that thing because they'd go drill and blast rock and bring it down and all the shit. But the last process is our machine. If that thing breaks down, then everything behind it is fucked. The bike coming in, there's no rock because our machine. But there's a lot of pressure there, so you had to service them, service. So I started building that, and then got some good service, man. I always preached, like, some of these big customers, why would I buy from you? You're Irish, I don't know. I says, well, there's my address, home. You call me anytime. I'll be there myself, fix it if I can't get out. And they trusted me. And I built it on service and backup, And I always kept my word to that. And some of those customers 20, 25 years ago are still my biggest customers, Because they grew with me too, so.
There has to be a serious amount of drive there. I always say it's a chip. The chip that you must have on your shoulder, and I don't mean it and some people think that that's a negative term. I actually think sometimes to have that bit of granite in you, to have that doggedness to go out, because it must have been you've left. First thing, you secured a job, so you've left home at a young age. Some people 17, Jesus, they're barely off their mom's tit, and then you've moved to Cleveland, made the decision within a week you're moving out to America. Obviously you've started putting it to pace. You're out there now, you're owning a dealership. And it's just a continual growth over the last 30 years.
Well, I guess I grew up in Ardboe, which, what do you do? Fish, farm. smell of shit or smell of fucking fish scales. That was it. What else you do? And it wasn't for me. I said, there's something better out there. I always thought, I want away the fuck from this. And then, I remember the boy saying to me, you know, things like, he always saved all his life, £50,000, £80,000 to buy a piece of land, his own and stuff, you know. It's like, that's nothing now, but I always remember him. He never was given the opportunity to do what I had to do, and I always take a lot of inspiration from him. It was, I was doing something that he never could do, because it was, people say it's luck or whatever, but you put yourself in a position to be lucky, you know. You can't win the fucking lottery unless you bought the lottery ticket in the first place, right? You put yourself in a position to be lucky, in other words. And I always was that type of personality, smart enough to know, like whenever I moved, I had an end goal at 20 years old to become a dealer. I had that goal, that incentive. I wanted to do that. I always wanted to better myself. And I said to myself, raising up on Ardboe, a big family, 7 of us, not that big compared to there, but all my cousins, I mean, it was just, I just want to do better, you know. And then I got a taste of it, and I remember going to America, and, you know, in Ireland here, most of Ireland, it's like, if you wanted to buy a wee site for a house or a bit of your own land, it didn't matter your money, you couldn't get it, the farmers wouldn't sell it. And I landed in America, and I was like, you mean I can buy that? Well, that's for sale, and I can pay that for it. And I don't have to suck the tit of some farmer and know somebody's cousin that know somebody and get him drunk just to get him talk. No, it's for sale. You can buy it. You know, approach. Like, really? And I said, no, okay. How do you buy it? You need money, all right? So then I said, all right, my goal was to make money then, to buy this land. And I have bought a lot of land and done away with that as well over there. It was just, I always think back to, what's that movie with, Far and Away, I think it is, with Nicole Kidman and, what's your man?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. That movie is famous. Like, I always remember at the start of that, was West Coast Ireland, and he had nothing, and he was, I always remember the start of that movie, his dad was there in the deathbed, he was killed by some landlord or something, whatever it was, but he was there, and the start of that movie, it was like, son, own your own land, I never could. And that was his goal, to go to America. And I had that kind of incentive too, you know, to go there and get something that I couldn't get here. It's there for the taking, you know. So, but maybe it was here, but I needed that other drive to get it. In America, they gave that to me.
Yeah, and obviously you went there and you worked extremely hard to get to where you're at.
Friggin' ass off.
But I'll recap on what you were saying there. You made them opportunities for yourself too, in the sense as in you had to rub shoulders with the people that you want to try to become. And you had to make them opportunities to be in that circle.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Oh, some people say, he's just a lucky cunt, right? No, you have to put yourself in a position to get lucky.
I don't like the term lucky. I think the only people that throw luck about is the people that want to bring down what you've achieved. The people say they're lucky.
I agree
that they're taking a shot at you. It makes them feel better than them because they didn't have the balls or the nerve, or because
it's a word called envy. I mean, that's a big word. It encompasses, or the 10 Commandments. Don't covet your neighbour's wife. Don't covet your neighbour's good. And I find that's very prevalent here, because there's absolutely no reason why some of those people think that way. It's only it's their own problem.
It eases their because they didn't do it, and it makes them feel better about the life they have now. Because the simple reason is they didn't do it. They weren't 20 and took that chance. And I think you're a bit humble in the way you're saying that. I just, opportunity. You don't say yes to that man for next week. You're not there. You don't go out and work hard and show your worth out there. You don't get the job with someone else. You don't phone that guy and ask him, is there another job somewhere else? You don't get. I honestly would say, yeah, there was opportunities, and there's opportunities and everything. There's opportunities out there, and especially at that time when the growth was there. But you have to grasp that. I didn't say when that came up. But then we're going to fast forward a wee bit. You're there, and you're starting to make a life for yourself, and you got married out there.
I got married to an American girl. Yep.
So you're what age were you when you met?
Well, see, actually, she helped me build the business. I mean, I'll give her that. She was, we had been living together 6-7 years before we got married even. I mean, but we always lived together, and I don't know why I didn't get married. But then I met her when I was 21, or the first there. I mean, I met her early on, and she actually helped me with a lot of growing the business, and she was very straight-laced, very also motivated. She always had a great job. She Caterpillar market and all that stuff. And then we started the business. It was me and her and one other fella that I knew, a service guy, American fella. We started that business in a basement of a house we were renting, and this is the truth. And we were invoicing $500,000 machines and $20,000 parts out of the basement of this house, and she was handwriting the invoices out and stuff. And I mean, she was a big part of this too. So I will give her a dues. It was.
So now,
but unfortunately, we're divorced now.
Okay,
that's another story. But she was a big part of that. I mean, I'll give an example. Like sometimes I would have. I mean, America's a big country, and the drive everywhere. Like I see, sometimes you would drive 5 hours for a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. You get up, means leaving at 3, and then drive back home again. That's just 10 hours driving for 1 hour meeting, but that's what you do. I mean, it's changed a little bit now, but the alarm would go off at 3 o'clock, and then I had snooze 7 minutes or whatever. Alarm go, and she'd go, "Get the fuck up!" And she'd turn sideways in the bed and just kick me out of bed. I mean, go! Right? It's just, so she had a big part of this too.
You need, I think, me and you were touching on this earlier. You need someone behind you.
Behind every good man, there's a good woman.
You need something behind you. So then,
it's unfortunate it didn't work out with us. There were a lot of other reasons. It wasn't because of love, and it was just, there was a lot of reasons why. There was other family influence, and we never could have kids. Several miscarriages, and that was a lot of stress and stuff, and just, you grow apart. But we had grown the business to a point, and she had kind of gotten out of the business at the end because it got above her. I mean, I was hiring accountants and 50 employees, 75 employees. I would keep growing. There wasn't really a place for her, and she felt left out. There was so many reasons that caused stress in our relationship. Not being able to have kids was a big one. I mean, four miscarriages was a tough thing in a marriage, trust me. I mean, and then you give up at that point. I mean, the last one she had, she was 42, I think. I was about the same, so, but it just, I mean, but she did help me build the business, and I will give her that,
You were saying there, and at that point, I'm sure you thought that was it. That was your opportunity for children. That was you.
Gone. Yep, I've given up, and it's like, what the hell? Built this wee empire over there, and well, who am I going to give it to? And then got into. Then we got legally separated as a law. You have to be legally separated a year or whatever before you can start divorce. And then, of course, then I'm free to have girlfriends and all that stuff. And then,
was this like you were 20 when you were there? You didn't really go mad when your thing was this an opportunity to go out? No, party.
Maybe. Yeah.
A wee bit.
I hadn't really sold smokes in America, so
this was the
party time.
You're in this period,
yeah,
and then it took a severe turn for you.
Yeah, I was kind of working my ass off 12 hours a day, and then I would take customers out and entertain them and go drinking with them and partying, and I missed the signs, and boom, massive heart attack. Dead, 14 minutes. Dead, flatline.
Right, that's a big one. We're gonna go into this.
Yep.
So was this the first warning, the first half warning, or
no? I had a scare 5 years prior to that, probably around 2013, 14. I had a little heart attack up in New York.
A little heart attack. You just gloss over.
A little heart attack. Yeah.
So what way did that come about?
I had an opportunity to put a rock crusher. They were building these new tunnels under New York to connect basically Manhattan to Main Central, which I think is near finished now, but that's like 1,000 feet under the ground in Manhattan, under the big buildings, and they wanted that. Through some connections, but I knew a fella, Mafia actually, had the contract to bring. They'd go in, drill and blast all this massive, like Grand Central Station that was underground in Manhattan, and I knew under the Hudson connecting. It's amazing, but they would drill and blast the rock, and then what they would do is get it out on these gondolas. I think they're like basically trains, but they're low, about 4 foot tall, because the roofs were so low. So they'd bring the rock out, and then they would buy new rock from a quarry 100 mile away. It cost them hundreds per ton. They'd bring it back in the gondolas, and that would be what they would be building the new concrete and stuff with down there. There's little mini ready-mix plants and stuff. I said, well, there's a lot of money being wasted. Why don't you just crush the shit down there when you're at it? Take the rock you're blasting, save the money of hauling it out, just use that rock, because it was really good granite on the New York. Turn it to stone, and then turn that back into what you're building, and use that instead of hauling it. Oh, the money was millions saved, you know. This was my idea and all stuff. It actually never happened, because the Sandmen, some people in America will know this, that's the union, the Irish unions up there, they control it, and they weren't in it, so, but it got washed. But I was down there and I had a heart attack. Took half an hour to get down to all this stuff, and I was feeling, now bear in mind, this summer is about 90 degrees, whatever it is here. 90 degrees would be 35 or something. In Manhattan, I think it was 48th Street, we went in through a building down there, all the way to Weaver 30. I get down there, these boys are so hot. It's like 125 degrees down there, because the heat from the buildings go down. Those buildings are built with pylons built into the rock. It's all absorbed into it. And down there was 125, 130. Hot. I don't know how these guys were working it. And I'm going down there, and these fellas with me go, holy shit. I said, I'm fast, don't feel hot. And then they said to me, you look pale, your lips are blue, blah, blah, blah. And they go, I think there's something wrong with you. I said, I'm not wrong with you, keep going, I'm walking. Everybody else sweating their ass off. I'm not sweating. And so one of them says, nope, we're getting them back up. So we get up and we back up. It's 48th Street. There's a little Japanese sushi restaurant there, busy. It was about lunchtime. So they took me up and walked. I started feeling faint. And then I kind of fainted right at the door of that restaurant. There's just somewhere to go, because right there. Fainted in the entrance to the restaurant. And called the ambulance, good up there a couple of minutes. But I was kind of conscious through it all. And they come in with a gurney boy to carry me out, to put me in the ambulance. And I always remember, worst thing I regretted in my life. I remember coming out there going, sticking my head up, and all these people knew, like down in Manhattan, what's going on? Yeah, I could have Japanese sushi. I go, I wouldn't eat in there if I was you boys. That's all I thought about. I didn't realise I was having a heart attack. I put him out of business, actually. I felt so bad about it. I remember the wife was still married then. She was like, that was the worst. That's just what I said, you know. I didn't know where I was. They come in and had a mini blockage, 30%, and spent a week in the hospital there and come out, and then it was fine after that, you know. And then we get separated after, me and the missus, and then started running Buckmart, and I had the big one. So that was in 3 years ago.
So it was obviously a lot bigger. How did that come about?
Burning the candle both ends, I would say. That's the best way to describe it.
Right.
Working way hard, not sleeping enough, entertaining customers at night, and then get up early in the morning, just work. Had that little scare, should have looked after myself more, and then boom, I had the big one. So, and died. It was flatline for 14 minutes actually, this last one.
What happened then? Where were we at when that one happened?
At my mailbox, it was one Friday evening or Saturday. It was, I came home from work early and run down. I forgot to check the mail, because I'd come in and check the mail, and the dog was there, Irish Wheaten Terrier. He jumps in. Come on, let's go up to the mailbox. We drove up, and can't remember. And after, I don't remember nothing, but apparently I had a heart attack at the gate, failed, hit my head, split my head, flatline dead. And the dog actually jumped out of the truck. I left the door open, run across the road to the neighbour, got him, alerted him, and he came running across, and I'm laying there. Old man, 80 something, rattled Greek guy. He starts doing CPR on me, because he was a volunteer fireman and knew that. And then there was a group of Mexicans come by, painters, and he was wore out. He never done before, so he showed them how to do this. So I'm 3-4 minutes into this, and then fortunate there was a EMS guy come by just off work, jumped in and he had the things, and he started jumping on me, and 5-6 minutes into this, and then
Well, he hit you with a defib?
yeah, he had all that stuff, because he's emergency, all that stuff.
This guy's just driving by.
Just pure luck. Yeah.
Jesus.
The dog, pure luck. Dog running across the road, get the guy. I'd be dead if the dog hadn't crossed the road. I mean, if he hadn't driven by, I'd be dead too. I mean, it's just a calamity of errors that fell in my way, you know. And then the best thing was, my 2 sisters had a surprise visit. It was late summer. I didn't know they were coming. And here I am laying dead at the mailbox, already dead, ambulance in the way. Actually called the ambulance off because I had flatline. So in America, the ambulance come to your life, but you're dead is the morgue coming to pick you up. So they called it off. I'm laying there dead. 2 sisters come to a surprise visit to get, and I'm laying dead there.
Some surprise.
Oh, they come freaking out, screaming. My brother, who works for me, he drove them there. Come in. She starts freaking out. My sister ran. God bless her. She's a nurse, and they says, no, he's passed. And I mean, they were landing a surprise visit, and they come in on this at my gate. It's an unbelievable story. True, everything says truth. I mean, and she comes in and they huddle, because I have cameras outside my gate. There's a gate, private gate enters, and it took me a year almost to go back and watch these cameras to see what happened, because I didn't have the balls afterwards. But sure enough, it happened. And she jumped. I think I remember seeing them huddling, and they said, hit him once just to make her happy. Let her. And they hit me that once. Now this is 14 minutes and 23 seconds, because we know, because the cameras. Boom, slight pulse. If they hadn't showed up, I'd have been dead.
So your brain had been starved for oxygen for 14
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
And what there's something like after 5 minutes, there's like 0.000% chance.
It's such slim. They actually use me now because 2 big universities, or 2 big hospitals, Coney and it's called Baptist Hospital. They come to me afterwards and said, we always teach 10 minutes, give up on all this stuff, and can we change it? But we would like your signature to say, now we want to change that because you're an example of things that doesn't happen. Now, I was in the hospital dead. They put me I was in a coma, but really low pulse, and they said if he does wake, he's going to be a vegetable organ. So everybody, sisters and brothers, they all flew, all sitting there. They all thought they were coming to turn the machine off as a family, But then I got a slight pulse, and then I was in it for about probably 5 weeks in a coma, because they had brought my body temperature down. They do that to save until family gets there. They brought it down in case it would
preserve your organs.
Yeah, preserve my organs and all that stuff, because I guard all that stuff. So they come over and turn the fucking machines off. I wake going, what the hell is everybody doing here? And the whole place just fell over. My kidneys were supposedly gone. I was doing dialysis. I was in issues with it. But they magically in the next month or 2 regenerated themselves. My kidneys perfect. Stop drinking, probably have that too, but
Can't drink in the hospital.
I can't drink in the hospital.
So
4 months.
It was about 3 months in the hospital.
3 months.
Yeah.
in a coma.
No, I was in a coma maybe 5 or 6 weeks, and then the rest of it, like I came out of that, I was I weighed myself, I was 114 pound, which is 7 stone or something. I was drip fed from that there for basically 6-7 weeks, drip fed. So when you lose a lot of weight when that happens and stuff, so no, I shouldn't be here, to be honest with you. But
all the things that happened there, the dog going over, your man being in, people passing by, your sisters not letting them stop. There's a lot of things, moving parts there that had to come together that saved your life.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. I get to the hospital and, no kids remember miscarriage and all that. I'm messing around with some girl. I had a girlfriend at the time, nice girl and stuff, and we kind of had broken up on and off. But she come to the hospital apparently when I was in a coma saying, I'm pregnant with his son.
Jesus.
You talking about shock, family's there and could get that bitch
I don't want to
out.
be personal. What age, when did this happen?
Well, I was in the hospital.
Right.
Okay.
When did you take this heart attack? How long ago was that?
It was October of 19, I think it was.
Right.
So maybe off by a month. It was late summer of 19.
Okay.
September maybe. Yeah.
And this woman's arrived at the hospital. Were you aware of this? You weren't aware of this? Were you in the coma?
I had clue. I wasn't clue. I was in coma the whole time. And of course my family's there. My ex-wife's there because we had been separated. They chased her. Don't get in here. Some of my friends scared her out screaming and shit. She basically showed up. She says, I have his child. What am I going to do? And nobody believed her. They thought she was looking money or something. And thank God she did, because come out of the hospital, finally get home and do that stuff. And I meet her secretly. I didn't believe it either, really, but meet her and we done a pregnancy test and a DNA. Boom. 100%. My kid. That's why I'm back here.
Do you think that's what brought you back?
Oh, fucking sure it did.
So, Andrew, you had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. A result of that was that you were left in a coma. Mm-hmm. And while you were in the coma, you obviously have now found out that you have a child. Mm-hmm. So, I have heard in the past that people that are in comas tend to have like an out of body experience. And I feel just as we were talking there that you were holding out us slightly.
Maybe.
So did you experience anything like that, or no? You haven't a clue what went on, or
I did have something. I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to preach to people, but I don't know when this happened. I was in a coma. I remember I was flatlined 14 minutes, say, and then I was in a coma for 5 weeks. Out of it, dead basically. Somewhere in that time frame, I think it was just the 14 minutes when I was flatlined. But anyway, somewhere there, an experience. I lived another life. It's hard to describe. I'll try and simplify this. I was on a ship, sail ship. People were dressed like they were in the 1700s or something. On a transatlantic crossing. And I was the captain's right hand. I was up in the cabin, like those old ships, they had 3 sails and stuff. And we were crossing the Atlantic from Ireland or Britain or something. And back then, I do know from history, like they would have crossed the northern route. And if they didn't get to Nova Scotia or to Canada or North America before winter set in, because it was a long crossing, it would sometimes freeze in on them, and the boats would get frozen in this, locked in an ice, and then they would just have to sit there for like a month until the thaw come, and then they would make the rest. And they had provisions for all that and stuff. But for some reason, I was on one of these ships back in the 1800s, I don't know when it was. People were dressed like they would have dressed back then, and I lived this every day. It was like 6 months of my life. I was in the ship with a captain. I was up there. I can't remember his name. But he was like, everybody looked up to him. And then I sort of reported to him. And then there was the hands there, ship hands that were working and doing that stuff. I can remember back then you had to work in the ship. And there was one main guy over that anyway. But we got froze in, and the captain says to me, go tell them that, we've enough provisions, thaw will come, we'll get out of this. This is back 70. And I'm living this. Somehow vivid. I remember every day of 6 months. And then food started running out, thaw didn't come, ship was in. I remember the ice coming in and creaking the boards and all stuff. And food run out, and then, as they did back then, I guess there was no other option but start eating the dead, because there's a couple that died already with fever. I can't remember what it was. But so we're here and in this ship, and they decided, there was a couple of dead bodies somehow thrown over the side onto the ice there and stuff, and they decided to start eating them. They had no choice. It was survival at that point. But I'm living this weird thing. And then, but me and the captain, I was up there, and he would never talk to them. I had to relay the information to them. That was my job. I don't know why that was my job. And then they started eating, and then I was starving, and there was that one head guy, what do you call him? He was coming back and saying, Andrew, tell the captain you need to come eat, or you're not going to live here and make it through. I know it's a bad thing to do. It's morally wrong, but you have to eat. So I remember sticking my head over the boat, and these guys were cutting the flesh off and eating it to survive, It was all frozen and shit, but there was protein, I guess. And I'm living this, and I'd go back to the captain. I said, we need to eat, we're not going to survive. He says, no, just hang on here, just wait. He says, we're not going to die today, just wait till tomorrow, see what happens. This went on for months. And I think it was 52, I don't know why that number sticks in my head, but there was 52, and then they started dying off, and it was maybe down to 25, and they kept eating the other people. But I remember the people who are still alive getting ugly, especially that one guy that was the lead. It kept coming to me to portray to the captain, we need to eat. I was like, his teeth started getting ugly, and they're almost turning into like zombies, like weird. And they kept going, you need to go eat. So I'd keep going back to the captain, and the captain would say to me, no, just hang on, no. Well, I think we're living all day. You tell them not to, we don't need to do it. We don't need to do this. So, and then this kept going on, and then they get very aggressive, the guys, like wanting to take over the captain. This, I can see his face. He was like standoffish, but the only way that for some reason they could communicate with me through to him. And we got through this, and I was at the point to break. I was ready, and he kept saying to me, no. He said, I remember him saying, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. Now, this is 6 months into it, and the ice never broke up or anything. And then I wake up, right? And that was it. I mean, but I lived this every day, this starvation, and of course there's water, but I was the one that had to relay this information to this captain, you know. And it's like, and he keeps saying, no, we're not ready. I was thinking, you're not ready, we're not ready. And I wake up, and of course then, I never talked to anybody about this for long months because I'm thinking it's weird and shit. And I come back, and I find out I have a son. And that's the reason I'm back. Because I think somebody was telling me, change your lifestyle, do something different, you're not ready yet. I think that's why I'm back. And now I've got this beautiful little boy. His name's Andrew Jr., age 8, little redhead man, little guy. He's 2.5 years old now. And that's my life, you know. That's my legacy. I never had that before. If you remember what I said about the wife and all that, we couldn't have kids. And then here I am with this. And this has given me a new invigoration in life to not necessarily stop doing what I'm doing, but start, how can I describe this? I got to keep going with this, you know. I've got a reason here to get up in the morning. This kid, now I've got to look after him. It's the reason I'm back is that kid, you know. And people go, why are you back here? Stuff. Well, I want him to meet his family. I want him to meet his cousins, his uncles and aunts that he never met, you know. And I'm back here trying to do that now. I see life different because of that, because of him, because of that. Now, I'm not preaching to anybody, don't want anybody. I'm not sitting here, what do they call fire and brimstone, none of that. I'm just saying that something happened to me there. It wasn't a tunnel of light, it wasn't that. It was totally different. It was like, there's something there that is the reason why I'm back. Bear in mind, I never knew I had a son. I'd given up on that. And that's the reason I'm back. I think it was the big man saying, and the boy there trying to make me eat was the bad boy, trying to influence me with whatever it was. And I was able to hang on and just and survive through this. And then it took months for me to comprehend what actually happened before I even told anybody this. Because people thought, I don't want to listen to that holy Jew prayer. And I'm not preaching. I might go to chapel every now and then, but I always did. That's not what I'm saying. I just now there's something there.
It's a memory. It's what you felt, and it was just one more day, just one more day, just one more day.
Mm-hmm. One more day. Hang on.
And now you're here, and you've a son, 2.5.
I know. I didn't thought I had. Yeah, correct.
Brilliant.
It was weird hearing you recall it because it was like somebody. So obviously the experience happened. It didn't physically happen. But you were calling memories. You're like, I can't remember his name. It was you could see
the faces and all that stuff. Yeah,
it was something you'd lived.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon that we've seen that there's people in comas have lived separate lives and they've woke up and they're like, oh, I had a completely different life there.
Mm-hmm.
And thing. But you've come back from the coma. You completely had to be something, even if people aren't religious or spiritual or whatever it is. There was so many things that was going against you, and then so many things that happened for you to get you back, and then you have a child, and you're back here. So, yeah, some people might turn around and say, oh, I don't believe in any of that, but a lot of that there, you know.
Well, I will say that I was totally disillusioned. I mean, I was raised Ardboe chapel every Sunday, all that stuff really beat into me, and I got disillusioned with it. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's like I was confused. I mean, I'm not saying that was God.
But it's definitely something that's made
Jesus. It could have been Buddha. It could have been Allah. It could be any of it.
Somebody was watching over you.
Something was there. There's something there. I just want to tell people, don't be scared. I used to sometimes fear death because I hadn't my affairs set in place and that stuff. I don't know. I don't fear death no more because I know there's maybe. I'm confident it's not done at that point. And I don't. That's probably all I want to talk about that anyway.
So now at this stage, the awakening that you've had, you know, is it like I need to slow everything back down? This has happened to me. I've got a chance here. You work obviously very, very hard. And is it like take a step back from business, just enjoy life as it is? Or is it, look...
Or balance?
Balance. Or is it, I have this chance again to just keep the hammer on and keep going in the direction I'm going.
It's balanced now. It really is balanced now. And it is keep the hammer down, because I've built a good business over there that's maybe 70 people work for me now, and they rely on me. I've got great employees. Been fortunate. I've always been good about picking the right people in the right places. I've got some people who's worked for me almost as long as I've been there, 30 years, 20 years. I've got a lot of people that trust in me, and I'm in a position now. I used to be a bit of a control freak about every little detail, and I had to be on every job site, and I had to be involved in every little nut and bolt and washer. If I seen it walk through this yard and there was a bolt, named 12 by fucking 40 bolt in the washer sitting there, I'm thinking, that's 40p and that's 10p. That's what I used to think. I'd pick it up and go, what the fuck, I mean, I'm paying thousands a month on this shit, and I think different about that anymore, you know. I think about that. I don't stress out over that anymore. And now I want to come back to my roots, where I come from. I want to come back here. It's funny, I left Ireland for this pie in the sky, this mythical thing in America. It's almost like, I want that. And I've done well with it. You know what? I want to come back here to Ireland now and maybe build something else here for my son and for my family around me, and stuff that they will never get. I want to take those experiences, bring it back, and pass that on. I mean, I'm not in a bragging way, but I don't really need to make money anymore. That's not what it's about here. I want to come back and help people here in the family and people I grew up with, and people. I want to bring those ideas from America back here and maybe build another little legacy here, to be honest with you. It may not be as big, but I want to build something here.
Well, that brings me to a rumour that has been floating about these parts of the country. So before I had met you, Andrew, I'd heard one or two whispers, but maybe you want to shed some light that Andrew, as an Ace Group, has taken over LS?
Yeah, I have a company called Ace Group, which is I do real estate with and do some energy and things like that. And yeah, I have partnered with LS, yes. I didn't want to, but yes.
So we had Ryan on with us. Ryan,
yeah.
Quite a character.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I've seen the same shit in him as I've seen in me, the same drive, the same attitude, the same belly urge to do. I just seen it in him. I thought, fuck, this is my starting point here. And we're partners now. So
what have we got on the horizon for? So what it's LS? It's still LS. Will LS still be, or is it?
LS still. Oh yeah, LS meals, LS online, LS gym fit. That's all there. I'm going to grow that. Yeah. I'm going to grow that into something that.
And is there big plans on the horizon?
Oh, there's big plans. TBD.
We wish you the very best of luck with that, because I love to see that, and I love to see. I think it's enjoyable for me and Sean to tell a lot of people who's going to be out there, and they're going to be maybe going to work tomorrow morning, and they're just at the point that you were talking about. There's something more for me. There's something. There's an urge. There's a calling. I know you touched on Australia. There's plenty of opportunities around the world where people
are right here in your back doorstep if they just realised it. Well, they're right here.
What would you say to somebody that's sitting there and they're thinking like that there, and they have that sort of burning idea or ambition to do? What would your advice be if you were to do it again, and what would you give them to fast track them?
Drag yourself the fuck out of the duck hole. Have some balls. Don't be scared to borrow money, because you can borrow money dirt cheap these days. You can, don't have that old Irish attitude. I want to buy a car. I'm going to save 10 years and buy a car and then drive the fucking thing until it's 20 years. That's the Ardboe's attitude, kind of. Don't be scared to borrow money to make money. Just have balls. I mean, just be careful as you do it. But there's so much opportunity in this country alone. Businesses, take ideas, and just do it, you know. And there's another side to this too. It's like, I always said, like, I went to America at nothing. Borrowed a bit of money, bought some machines, started growing the business, still borrowing money, still doing this. I went there with nothing, and it's like, if I end up with nothing, right, at the end of the day, what the fuck did I lose in the first place? Have that attitude, and you'll be successful.
it's a crazy journey, isn't it? It is mad. I genuinely think you should write a book. The trials and tribulations that you've had. You're obviously very successful.
Why would I write now? The story's not finished. Why would I write that book today? The story's not finished yet.
Because it's
You
hard.
might take another heart attack.
I want to finish that story. I want my son to write that story for me.
Well, what about writing a To This Line book? And then many people write the different chapters in their thing. All I'm saying, I would think that would give a lot of people the trials and tribulations and that you faced and that you came through, and like how many people can say there can't be double digits of people that have been dead that long and are sitting in a full mental capacity, having a conversation, recalling. It can't be like I don't think you could find it like.
Get off their asses, have some balls, do what you got to do, work hard. I mean, there's another thing too. I've always said. I mean, there's a lot of people that work really hard and they do well in life, and a lot of people that work really smart are very successful in life. But there's an odd cunt that works very hard and very smart, and them's the Donald Trumps of the world. I mean, them's the ones, or the Ted Turners, or the whoever. Those are the ones that really make it.
So what's on the horizon? What is the next goal now? You have £100 million company turning this year. You're going to now take on the meal industry.
The $1 million company, yeah. Sorry. But, okay, all right.
Dollar, sorry.
I'm going to grow the meals into something bigger. I just see, I want to market it better, bring out American ideas. There's a lot of things that they're doing in America right now online with deliveries and type of food, and grow it, reinvigorate energy into it, some money, take the gym thing, start maybe growing that into several different areas. And I've got a couple of other companies I'm taking from America. Ace Group is all my companies held together. It's like ALS will be part of the Ace Group, you know, as partner. I like to take partners into it.
Ace, where has Ace came from?
What's my name?
It's Ace, Andrew Coney.
It was originally Andrew Coney Equipment, but the Ace Group. And then I get lucky, and I like to gamble a little bit. Back in my wild days, I was in Vegas, and I was sitting at a Texas Hold'em. If anybody knows that, one day, and I threw two aces in a big pot, and I don't know what it was, ace of diamonds, and I don't know what it was, ace of diamonds, ace of clubs, and then the second last card was ace of third ace, and then, but I knew I played a lot of it, and I knew that the other guy had a full house. I knew he had. I just knew he was betting. So I just went all in. I don't know why. The fucking ace of spades came over. Fucking four of a kind. He actually that's right, he had a full house, and the pot was $13,000. To be honest with you, it was the biggest. It was just, and to this day, it's just always been a lucky thing for me, the ace of spades. So it's just, and ace, it signifies, like a deck of cards, ace is the number one card. I mean, trumps everything else. So it just, that's where that come from. It was just an inspiration out of it. So I carry that card around in my wallet today.
That's it.
I have it out there, but I carry that same card from 13 years ago around since that. So it's just a lucky charm.
Your lucky charm.
Yeah.
Well, look, Andrew, I've really enjoyed it.
Been brilliant. Brilliant story.
And great talking to you boys, yeah.
And
I want to tell this. I've never told this story. I just want to let people know that say it, want it, and you'll probably get it, you know. Go after it.
Yeah.
Have balls.
I'm 100% taking that, because I think you need balls in anything, and you need conviction, and I think you're the underpin of that.
And don't blame other people for your own failures. You determine you. Don't blame other people for something you did wrong. I mean, it's not somebody else's problem that you're unsuccessful. It's on your own.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you and Ryan and the LS Group and Ace Group all the best in the future, and we're excited to see where it's going. Maybe we get you back in a year or two's time and complete the book, or not complete it, not finish it off yet, but see where the next chapter is.
I would like to say one thing that, like I mentioned earlier, that also that I would like to thank the people in my world over this past 30, 35 years that's gotten me here too. The loyalty, the people that has looked after me. That's very important. I would like to thank my ex-wife for helping me to get to this point. I'd like to thank the mother of my child right now for giving me a child. Thank you guys. I'd like to thank all my employees that has gotten me here, because that's a big thing. You choose the right people around you and it'll be a whole lot easier.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, brilliant having you on,
Yep.
and hope you have all the best in your ventures.
Thank you guys.
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Sláinte.
Showbiz.